Welcome back to another Avatar tutorial for Jump Force. Today we're going to be creating Krillin, one of the most influential Z fighters in the Dragon Ball series. Firstly we're going to walk through how to create and customize this character, and then going through the entire moveset that I use, as well as some alternate options if you want to change anything. All of that up next. So why would I want to create Krillin of all characters? Dragon Ball for me is one of my earliest memories of anime. It was one of the ones I grew up with the likes of Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. Anyway, I do remember Krillin being hands down one of my favourite characters from the entire series, that including the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I thought it was only right to recreate Krillin in Jump Force. Krillin was a nice challenge to recreate. There were some elements that were very easy to recreate and some that weren't so much. Begin by creating a Type A male fighter. Going with Type A makes the most sense as this is the Dragon Ball fighting style, and as such matches up with Krillin the best. Next, I'm going to show you guys all of the customization options such as the body, hair, eyes, etc. But I will return once that's all done to talk about the outfit and the moveset. See you soon. The final outfit for Krillin isn't the best one-to-one matchup, but in game it looks perfectly fine, especially when you're fighting. Head over to the Team Alpha store, this is the Dragon Ball Z area, and you will find all of the items you will need for the outfit. You will want Gi top number 1 in this orange colour for the top. Gi bottoms number 1 again in this orange colour for the bottoms. Then pick up bracelet number 2 in this dark blue colour, which should match the undershirt of the Gi top. For the shoes there are two options. I use boots number 1 because they don't look as strange. Technically leather shoes number 1 is the right option, however you can't get the white socks to match, and the dimensions of the CAC's body does make it look a little bit strange. As I said, there were some minor challenges in recreating Krillin, however this was not the case for his moveset. There are many different attacks which Krillin can utilize, which all make sense depending on the playstyle you want. The moveset that I use may feel a little weird for some, but there are many other options if you want to change anything. For Krillin's first ability, I've decided to go with Destructo Disc. This is one of the Avatar exclusive abilities, so no other character in the game can use this, and in case you don't know, this is Krillin's most iconic attack from the series. Destructo Disc is practically irreplaceable if you want to recreate Krillin accurately. For Krillin's second ability, I've decided to go with Kamehameha. Kamehameha is arguably the most iconic attack in all of Dragon Ball, and is something that Krillin learned alongside Goku under the tutelage of Master Roshi. This ability is replaceable, however, depending on what you want. For me personally, Kamehameha is a core ability, not as much as Destructo Disc though. You can change this ability out for Meteor Combination, Perfect Attack or Spirit Breaker for a Rush Super. You could also go with Perfect Barrier to act as a substitute for Krillin's Solar Flare, but I'm not as much a fan of that comparison. For Krillin's third ability, I've gone with One-Handed Spirit Bomb. For me, this once again has a direct reference to the show, and I really wanted to put this ability into a build since I've never done so before. My build here has 3 long range attacks, so you can swap out One-Handed Spirit Bomb with one of the other abilities I mentioned before, so Meteor Combination, Perfect Attack, Spirit Breaker or Perfect Barrier. I personally really like all of the references I have with Destructo Disc, Kamehameha and One-Handed Spirit Bomb, so that's what I went for. And finally, for Krillin's Awakened ability, I went with Final Flash from Vegeta's moveset. There's a number of solid options for Awakened abilities in my opinion. I went with Final Flash because it has that yellowy orange beam, much like Krillin's Scatter Kamehameha, despite the attacks still being very different. You could go with Solar Kamehameha from Cell's moveset as another generic beam super, or Super Spirit Bomb can also work, but I didn't really want to have that ability alongside the one-handed Spirit Bomb. I hope you've enjoyed this Avatar tutorial. For the final result, I am mostly happy with how Krillin turned out. I like the moveset since it's quite unique and there are many other ways to design the character, so I think it can work for anyone. The way the character looks isn't exactly accurate. The outfit is a little strange, but that's more to do with how Jump Force looks graphically compared to the show. Additionally, you can't get Krillin's exact height in Jump Force due to the limits in the character customization, which is unfortunate, but it's the best that can be done in my opinion. You could probably mistake this character for Aang given his shape and size. Anyway, I enjoyed creating this character, it was a lot of fun. As usual, I don't know who I'm going to be working on next for an Avatar tutorial. I've always got ideas in my head, it just depends on who I feel like creating when it comes down to it. Some options that come to mind are Knuckle and Pitou from Hunter x Hunter, as well as Netero. I think that he's a possibility, although less so. Also Yuno and Noel from Black Clover, I think they could be interesting picks. I'm also considering the likes of Uraraka and Overhaul from My Academia, as well as Adlet Maya and Goldoff Aura from Rokonayusha. Once again, these are just random names I'm throwing out there. Whatever I create next could be something entirely different, they're just some random characters that come to mind for me. Anyway, thanks for watching everyone, please enjoy this short gameplay montage before the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.